So yeah, welcome to. Technical difficulties as always. I did try slicking back my hair to stop this cutting out, but you're just gonna have to deal with that. I feel. Yeah. No, that's not great. Lean forward. No, not any better. So my hair's gonna look really weird for all of this. I apologise for that. I will do something briefly. I used to have a pokey stick. Used to always have a pokey stick ready because this was more of an issue before. There we go. I'm in focus. Isn't that great? So, welcome to GrassRoots TeeVee. Seems like my levels are fine. That was a problem last time. Still saying that is always going to be a problem. I do apologise. Maybe we should get some different presenters onto this. That would be my preference. I am very much liking doing these again. I'm liking getting consistent, trying to just be here on a regular and just show up. That's an important part of this. So, it's going to be a short show tonight. I'm basically partly going to be talking about another debate. We had another one on the Friday after I covered the last one. I say covered. I drank beers and I had smoked cigarettes and just kind of enjoyed the show, which I didn't enjoy as much as I would have liked. That is true. It was an interesting one last week, the Tuesday one. I was looking forward to it. I did come away from it still believing that one of the two of them not only was better suited for power, but was obviously going to be in power. The next debate that I literally only watched today, so clearly doing my preparation very well. That was a bit of a different one. We'll get into this. Let's go with the slides. I believe I've done them in the right order. Let's see on that though. Okay, so you got seven people up on stage. Not all of them the leaders of their party. And C, you got the leader of Plaid Cymru. I'm getting that wrong, aren't I? Deputy leader of the Lib Dems. Westminster leader of the SNP. Representative in Westminster of the Scottish National Party, the deputy leader of the Green Party, and MP for Bristol, or possibly just candidate for. I'm not actually that well prepared on this one. I literally just finished watching this, so I literally don't have a lot of time to keep up on all of this stuff. There is a lot going on at the moment. So the big two again are obviously these two. So deputy leader of the Labour Party, Angela Rayner, quite a fan actually. Certainly a counterbalance to Starmer's more reserved Labour leader. And then Penny Mordaunt. Penny Mordaunt, I don't actually know where she sits in the Tory party, and I don't even care to look it up. Again, my view is that the Tory party aren't going to be in power, so it really doesn't matter what theoretical part she plays in a cabinet, that she's not going to be a part of. So what I will say about Penny Mordaunt is you have to be going real fast for me to probably dislike you a little bit more than Nigel Farage in a room. I think she did it. I think she managed it. She was awful. And yeah. So yeah. I will still have a lot to say about Nigel Farage when we get to it later. These two were bickering and stuff, but again, I have to come down on the Tory side, because when the Tory next to you is slinging lies and all of that at you, it's really hard to not respond to that, which ends up being a back and forth, and they're just ready for you to take any little bit of bait and just double down, keep going, and that's kind of what went on. I think one of the winners of this debate is Angela Rayner for not cold cocking her. Honestly, there were moments where I swear I could see in Angela Rayner's face that she just so wanted to, and I fully sympathise. I'm glad she didn't for political reasons, but honestly, if that shouting match was happening at 10 o'clock in a pub in Manchester, one of them is going home with a black eye, and we know which one. So back to the larger thing. People have talked about winners and losers and stuff like this. I found it quite interesting, because it was hard for Angela Rayner or Penny Mordaunt to shine. Penny Mordaunt wasn't going to, but just because they are the two major parties as it is, but they're not really, because one is on the way out, one is on the way in, and everybody kind of knows that. I don't mean just knows it now. I mean that the behind the scenes, people have known that for quite a long time, or at least it's been shifting that way. And so it was interesting to get to know some of the people from the other parties. I actually really liked the candidate for the Greens, for SNP, for certainly the deputy for bit of fluff there. The deputy with the Lib Dems, they actually, very good performance there. And the guy from the Plaid Cymru. So obviously Farage is Farage, and some people were always going to say he was a winner, even if he came in there, smeared shit on his face, and did a little dance and then fucked off. People would have gone, amazing show, love it. There was very little that Nigel Farage could have done to lose a specific portion of the votes. That said, I think he really showed his colours in a way that was quite bad for overall appeal. Like, initially, a lot of the discourse from certain people would have been very loud, and it was. If you look at the comments on YouTube underneath this, the video of the debate, it is a cesspool. But that is the hard right tactic. It is flood the zone, and we see it all of the time. Videos about stuff that has nothing to do with politics gets flooded with right-wing comments, because that is what they do. They have an army, a digital army, as the right-wingers in America will say. posting is warfare essentially, and it's very saddening. There's always been terrible comment sections on anything from Thomas the Tank Engine videos to hair care products, but anything that touches upon politics, and especially something like this, that hard right is going to really come into their own in a way, possibly unaware that no one really cares about the comment section. I looked there to see what they were saying, not because I cared about what they were saying, but to see what they were saying. And it's quite interesting as we'll come to. But what happened there? Okay, so yeah, the two major parties, we talked about them. This was interesting. Obviously, you can see that they chose a lot of greens. They chose a lot of green. Yeah. Lots. I should have put a backing on that one. I can't really do much about that actually. Even if I put a backing on, I would have had to put it between the slides, so I would have had to put it between this and this. I very rarely have enough time to do the preparation properly enough to get the slides up, let alone foresee the the facts that you're going to be able to see through more than half of the bar. Why would they use so much green? Sorry. So the this chart is quite interesting. You can see through it. Look, that's in view of you, who won the debate? Nigel Farage, yeah, okay, 19% for Angela Rayner. None of the above. Carla from Greens, Stephen Flynn, that's the SNP candidate, representative in Westminster. Penny Mordaunt, somewhere between Don't Know and Stephen Flynn. Daisy Cooper in 5th, and I'm not even going to attempt to say his name. I heard it so recently, and I'm still not going to try. The thing is, this poll has been cited in those comment sections that I said about, and I think that was sort of made up out of the clear blue air, or possibly, no, that actually doesn't even make sense. If this was Reform speaking to Reform Party candidates, you wouldn't get this. This has to be fabricated. There is only one way for that to exist, right? They have to put Angela Rayner high up on the poll because Labour is going to get a landslide victory, right? But they also have to put Nigel Farage first. Then, let's go through. None of the above. Why would you put that next when you also have Don't Know? Then you've got the Green Party. Okay, it's fine to put them fairly high up because they don't believe they're going to do any good anyway. So throw them in there. Stephen Flynn, why not? Reform's never going to get a seat in Scotland. Never. It's just not happening ever, right? Don't Know, again, it's kind of redundancy, but of course they would. Penny Mordaunt, because they need to put the Tories way down on the list. Daisy Cooper, because at the end of the day, Daisy Cooper is the real opposition. And then for some reason, Wales at the bottom, just because I think they're just a little bit racist against Welsh people. So I mean that bar doesn't represent how those candidates did on that poll. That is entirely made up, right? It is by a what they call. I had this a minute ago. Sorry. Oh, I can actually do this without losing the screen, which is good. More in common. Okay. So apparently that is a website called More in Common. I'm pretty sure that's a right-wing think tank. Either it's part of Reform, or it is part, yeah, part of Reform, part of a think tank. I don't know. That poll is absolutely ludicrous. I would like to hear people's opinions about how that debate went. How, just in general, how you think these parties are doing. I personally thought Rayner did fairly well, at least in the non-smacking Penny Mordaunt in the face thing, which is incredible restraint, considering how Penny Mordaunt was. Penny Mordaunt was worse to see debating than Rishi Sunak, which again is saying something. Then you've got the Plaid Cymru and SNP people really got some really good points in there. I actually really liked everybody else other than Farage. The main two parties, they're slugging it out. It's very hard to get real answers from them. Labour, the rest of the candidates, as they pointed out, the Labour is looking a bit too much like the Tory party. Yes, I agree. And it's why I was saying last week that the really important one is for second place. Here's where it comes to me sort of agreeing with Nigel Farage, where he says that, agreeing with, no, it's not. So yeah, agreeing with this guy is always difficult, but what I realised on the way home actually was that I don't agree with this guy. This guy agrees with me, because last Tuesday is when I said it was a race for second place, and then he said it on the Friday. Not only that, but I have been saying that the Tories were going to be third place for about 6 months. So apparently I'm quite good at understanding politics. I've just found out. So this gives me a bit more confidence in pursuing this, but clearly I need to put a bit more time in this, and I do need more people on board with me. So I will do a little bit more about that at the end, which will be coming up very soon. But basically, everybody that wasn't the Tory party or the Labour party all realised that this is a race for second place. They realised it after I said it. Nice. They might have realised it before, but I was the first to say it, so. In fact, I put bets on it before this debate, so I'm feeling pretty proud of that. But then also, what is funny is, my brother sent me this, and this is a Conservative advert that has my bet winning, which is quite interesting. They are clearly trying some sort of political mathematics here and saying that, well, um, if you throw your 18% vote into um, if you throw your 18% vote into Reform, their maths doesn't even work. This is the Tory party all over, right? So they're saying Reform can't win any seats, but they can help Keir Starmer win. Do you really want to hand Keir Starmer or Starmer a blank check? They've given 18% of the vote to the Reform Party, and that doesn't win them that vote. This is insane. Like, this is why the Tories are losing so badly. They can't do maths. They're supposed to be the economics party. They can't do maths. This is insane. But, I mean, my bet's looking pretty good because, actually, no, that doesn't make my bet better. No, there's me doing maths badly. If they can't do their maths badly, if they can't do their maths well, then I can't really bank on this for my bet going well. Still, it is encouraging to hear the Tory party also admit that they're going to lose to a landslide, because they cannot convince anyone away from Reform. If you've decided on Reform, then you're pretty much unswayable. But let me try. Basically, if you wrote Reform, it's going to go very, very badly. I don't even want to see them in second place in this election. I'd very much like sorry, someone was saying turn up the volume. Sorry about that. Is that better? A little bit better? Maybe a bit. Hey there. So, sorry, I wasn't seeing that I had any comments at all, though. I've just been enjoying just ranting into the camera, to be fair. So, hopefully that's better. It's not peaking. Let's see. I'm going slow. And now go loud. Yeah, I can think of. See, what happened was, last time I had the TV in the background, and that was a bit of an issue because my volume on top of the TV meant mine cut out the thing. It's a whole thing. Adam was telling me that that there is a compressor thing. It limits the thing. I just haven't really got into OBS very much, so I will be trying that out in the coming weeks. So what I was going to say was Reform, essentially, all of their policies that they have, they're going to come out with a manifesto. I will look at it, partly for a laugh, partly to talk to you about it, but all of their policies are dog shit. They want to privatise the NHS, or basically. They don't want any migration, which will also tan the economy. Let's see, what else was it? We'll look at those. But the main thing is, they also appeal to people on the basis of patriotism, which is ridiculous. For one, I would say that the immigration is kind of part of who we are. So if you're patriotic to who we are and have been for the last, 70 years, then immigration is good. It's part of our country now. But even you go back further than that, patriotism. Let's see. Let's go with three big things that I would call patriotic patriotic moments that are fairly unequivocal, right? So let's see, World War II. Let's see, recently D-Day, not recently, but we had the D-Day thing recently. The formation of the NHS and Cable Street. So D-Day, obviously, fighting the Nazis. It was a terrible thing to have to do, but we did it, and people did their part, and no more Nazis for about 6 months, or something like that. But we did it. We beat them. Farage keeps using it for photo shoots, even though his side lost. Come on, he is a fascist. He used to go round with his school chums, chanting Nazi songs, right? Trooping around, and he really hasn't changed that much, except externally, and not always that as well. So, the NHS, he wants to destroy that. I am very proud of it. So many countries have followed our footsteps. Canada is very proud of their NHS. They copied us. Not like we own the idea, but many countries set up a national health service because we led the charge, okay? And he wants to get rid of that. And then there is Cable Street. Now, I'm very proud of the Second World War, the loss of life, some of the stuff we did, not so much, but let's say Dresden, let's put that up there as not proud of that. Didn't need to do that to win the war. When it comes to Cable Street, that's a whole other matter. Cable Street is where Mosley and his black shirts showed up with 3,000 people, 3,000 British Nazis before the Second World War kicked off, really. And then 100,000 or so anti-protesters showed up, ready for a fight. Let's not get into what the essentially the police force did at the time, but I'm very proud of the 100,000 that showed up. Not proud of the 3,000, but the ratio is very good, and I know which side this guy would have been on. You know which side of the line this guy would have been on, because he's still there now. 80 years after, no, can't be 80. 75 years after Hitler's death, he's still with him. If this guy dies and you find a load of Nazi regalia and stuff like that hidden away in a secret closet in his house, are you gonna be that surprised? Really? That's my thing. Anyway, soon they'll have a manifesto. I would like some help. Not just with that manifesto. I mean, that will kind of be the fun / infuriating one. But I would like people's help disseminating these manifestos and trying to pick out some of the really key points to really give people an idea of what is on offer. Is that the best litmus test? Who knows? It's what they will be judged on when they come into power. There is some legal weight to a manifesto. It's not just a presentation of bullshit or fantasies. I mean, if you go into power with a certain manifesto, that is what you are supposed to be doing. If you try and do stuff that is in direct opposition to what you're doing, there is cause to push back on that. That's kind of how that works. They're not nothing. But if you're up for wading through all of that stuff, then hit me up. I will be trying to contact some people who I believe will be good at that in the next few days. But otherwise, the whole thing with this is not always going to be politics. There is going to be other stuff to this as well. There is an interview coming up that I just haven't had time to edit with Mark Woods. That's going to be really good. Mark Woods of Junkyard Choir, one of my favourite local bands. There is going to be all sorts of stuff. If you want to get involved in this in a different way other than politics, please also get in touch. If you've got some show coming up, some art shows, some music, anything really, I'm willing to plug it on this. Obviously there's not much audience to push it to, so if you want to push that as well, that'd be great. Meanwhile, I will just keep doing this and trying to get a little bit more less basically. I'm liking showing up every week though. It is good to just keep doing that, so hopefully you'll see a little bit more content, a little bit less ranting from me. If you want to do some ranting as well, maybe we'll just have two different people ranting. That would be cool, or two people ranting at each other. Who knows? The opposite, the possibilities are endless. So I'm going to wrap it up there for tonight. But yes, I will. You will see me next week. Adios.